This is our Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Kilayim. In the articles for the edition, we are on Daf Nun Beis Mav, Mamish at the top, beginning of the Gemara, and in the Vilna edition on Daf Chav Zayin Mav, the Gemara right after the Mishnah. Our Mishnah is talking about Ba'oimed, beside what I'm saying, a grain field, V'siarto Ruach Kerem, and the wind diffused some of the seeds into a vineyard. Zero boy, my summers. What are you talking about? Ba'omed? Is it standing still, or feel omed, or even, or is it bit omed, right? It said omed stay lavan, right? Or feel omed without the base, right? Which one is it? In tamar a bit omed belavan. If it's because that means specifically when he stands in the grain field. Habastei kerem low. Then this means not in the vineyard. In Tamer, I feel I made, right? I'm saying even if he stands, not or we take it off the base, it'll be a filo made. He had to makes no difference where he's standing. So according to one version, bit made specifically, it was in the grain field. According to Omid, it could be a filo made, even if you're standing in the grain field, and koshkin as you're standing in the vineyard. The meaning of this is, and the Mishnah said that. It's akrav mutar, in front of its depends what, but it's also. So if you're going to say that our Mishnah is talking about specifically where you're standing in the grain field, then this heter, so to speak, of the akrav is okay. In front of it depends. That applies only to the that we are standing in the in the grain field, but if it says it's a few omed, and that case telling you that it's someone said in that case it's usher in front. It's front of usher. It's achrab mutter, even in that case. So certainly it's okay when you're in the vineyard itself. Why should that be? So the Gemara says, let's hear from here. Rabbi Shimon Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Shimon Zoreh v'siyarto ruach lachorav. Somebody's planting and the wind blows the grain behind him. Mutzah it's okay Mnei honest because he is honest. Mana kayam. What are you talking about? Ima Omer b'stei kerem. You're standing in a stei kerem over Aveira. What are you doing there with grain? You're planting. You are doing grain in the kerem. So in stei kerem, you're not honest. You're careful amazing at least. At the Martha Mutar, so you say it's going okay. Elkenu Kayamim. So it's no. This is what we're talking about. But I maybe stay Lavan. So after the stay Karen. Then if you're standing in the grain field and the wind blew it into the vineyard, okay, you're an honest, and we give you leeway. It's Achrav, it's Mutar. But if you're standing in the Karen, there's no leeway. You're amazing. But however you want to define it, forget it. You don't get a heter any of these heterim. Okay, if it's use akrav, it goes 1/200, 0.5%. Kilayim. Okay, new thing. Rabbi Zira, Shimon Lakish, Shum Rabbi Yosef said, "Ima savi yufach." And the Mishnah said, if it's grass, you turn over. And hakol mutter. So the Gemara says that this is everything is mutter. There's no kilayim yet. Im aviv, if there's already some growth, the buds. Younapates, then you snap out the buds. The caution mutarim, the straw is okay, and the only the whatever buds are there are beginning to be also. That sounds like it's the rabbanon, because the rice. What's the difference? And imi via dogon tidolik hakol tidolik. If it becomes already grain. No, it's not just buds. It's mamish grain there. Hakol usher, even the kfanim. Everything is usher, and that's the rice of kilei akar. Yochama hakol usher. Right. The last of Yoshem look at the name Rabbi Yoshem. Yochama hakol usher. That which is hakol usher. Ma'u does it ninon. Sorry, but he says no. Sorry. Rabbi Yochanan says hakol usher eat no matter what, grass, budding, all that. So it's all kilakam from the get go. So, but that's the case. So, what does our Mishnah mean? It seems like there are three gradations here. It's like we learned over there. Ha'orla v'kilakam, eshadarkali sorry if you sorry. Right? Orla v'kilakam, that which you normally uh, berry, which is the like food. That was normally burn. You burn. And slightly cover things you normally bury, the which are like beverages and other moist things which can't really be burnt up. You cover; they should be buried, right? So here too, the grass and the bud stage, they're very moist. You can't really burn them yet. So even though it says that you have to in the Torah, it says you have to supposed to burn the kilayim, right? We're not from pentuk. We say pentukat esh, right? That you're supposed to actually burn it. This can't burn. It's not realistic, and only if it actually becomes straw, the dry straw, then you are allowed to. Then you are you're to burn it because at that point you can actually burn. Said before we had Rabbi Zir and Rabbi Shimon Lakish named Rabbi Yosef. Now we have Rabbi Yaakov in name Rabbi Shimon Lakish, I guess himself. Sometimes the kashim is like we said before. The kashim are mutar and the dogon is asur. In other words, the straw is okay when it gets full grain. Everything is asur. Sometimes the opposite. How so? Hey Chavita, how we have such a thing? Zora beheter, you planted beheter, meaning of a sige chagabim. In other words, first you distance the proper distance between the grapevines and the grain, and then you cantilever the grapes over the grapevines over the grain. So the kasha mutarim, why the mutar? Because they grew beheter before you cantilevered it over and violated their space. The dagan which comes afterwards, after you cantilevered it over, it's usher. But the other way around, zara be'isser. If you planted it be'isser, the heavier sachach vakashin. If you planted it, in other words, you planted it in too close proximity underneath the grapevine. And then afterwards, when it started, when it started to actually grow fully into grain, you removed the awning which you had created by cantilevering the grapevines over the grain. Then hakashin asurin because they grew badoga mutter, and the grain is mutter. So now Rabbi Zira doesn't like this. Rabbi Zira by nicha. Yes, I understand Hakashin Mutar which is of course what our Mishnah said. That makes sense. Hakashin Asurim Vadaga Mutar, but how can you say the other way around? That the stalks can be usher and the grain mutar. I said straw before, but it's really the stalks. There's Iser. It grew out of Iser. Vad Amarta Daga Mutar. Are you going to say that the grain which grew out of the Iser becomes mutar somehow? How's that happen? Rabbi Zira Kedaite. And this is Rabbi Zira according to his line of reasoning, the reasoning which you know. Dam Rabbi Zira, Shem Rabbi Yonasan, Batso Shekilei Kerem. If you have an onion of Kilei Kerem, Akrov is Shaslo, and it initially grew in Kilei Kerem. Then it grew, but you uprooted it and planted it again. I feel Mosikama Asr. Even it grows more than 200 times what was originally there. It's Asr. Shenguli Isra Mali Masata, because that is something which grows. Hector doesn't change the fact that it was planted initially by Isser. So you have to say that according to Reish Lakish, no. Once it grows 200 times the amount of what it was originally Usser, so then it's going to be Mutter. Although here, I'm not sure exactly how you're going to have a grain which grows 200 times the Isser. Maybe since the grain, I guess here we have to say differently. We have to say that since the kernels of grain, when at the time they were growing, even though they grew out of the stalk, maybe it's a Zevazegorim thing, right? Because there's a Zevazegorim, the stalks which are usher, and now whatever the air, the sun, the water wants to find magan is mutter. So zev zagorim will be mutter. But I think it's because the grain is like panim chadashos. In other words, yes, it's true, it grew out of the grain of Isser, but it's not the same thing like an onion. An onion, the same thing is growing the whole time. It's one unit. Here, it's 2 units. It's the stalk which contains the grain in it. Halacha zayin. Hamakayim kotzim of a kerem. Somebody who deliberately lets thorns grow in a kerem. By blessing kiddush. As it's also because he holds. The Gemara is going to say that it's also that thorns are also foodstuff. Chachamim say no. It's only makes it also it's something which normally a person keeps there. In other words, you're growing it liberally, but nobody grows thorns liberally. These are obviously these are types of grain which are uh, 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 well, actually, the Gemara, the Mishnah, the Gemara changes it. Bavli, it says because these types of minim, which I don't know what they are not considered to be kilayim and a kerem. They're not. I guess people are not mekayim them. No, he doesn't really. Article doesn't really help us very much. So, oh well. A canvas, which is word canvas, by the time in a climb, which would be hemp, is not kilayim. It's kilayim. Kinra, they obviously some people grow that or not deliberately. Kinras kilayim bekerem, and kinras is kilayim in a kerem. Actually, the that's not the question when you mekayim. Of course, people keep hemp. The question was going to be a vegetable, not a vegetable. Is it considered to be the Chachamim say, according to Rabbi Tarfon, it's a type of a seed, but it's not the type of seed. It's not a grain, and therefore it's not going to aser. Chachamim say it's not a vegetable either. Chachamim say it is a vegetable, therefore it makes it lime. Kinras, which the article actually translates here, artichoke, is kilayim in a kerem. Okay. Yeah. I'm ready to say, time ready to what's the reason for Lazar? She came Gemalim Barvaya. In Arabia, evidently they used to give the camels the thorns to eat, and therefore they are kilayim. Therefore they're produce, and they are going to make kilayim. Eros is irsia. The article says it's a kind of climbing vine. The Hakisu Kisusa. Oh no, sorry, that was the wrong one. The some say the Irsia, some say is a iris, and some say it's a mint. Then Kisus is a Kisus, some sort of climbing vine. Shoshanas Hamelech, he is cream tone, which is the Greek translation of a rose. So some say though it's the kalanit, which is an Israeli flower, and some say it's actually a Shoshana. I know what a Shoshana is and what a beret is. First one is a Shoshana, second beret. I thought beret is a rose. I'm not sure what Shoshana is. Anyway, the be as it may, there's a whole question here what exactly it is and what it should be. Okay. Hakanim va'agin va'vered. Here is vered separately. Va'todin, which seems like it's also a type of thorn bush. Min ilon, the type of trees. Ve'ena kilayim b'kerem. Because kilayim b'kerem is only with produce. Not produce. With stuff which goes from the stuff with vegetables which grow from the ground. and vegetables and grains, but only real grains. One is Mekayim, not the ones mentioned in Mishnah, which one is not Mekayim for the purpose of grain, ones that just had kind of translations. Hashifa va'itan vagemi v'shar efer, anything which grows in really it means ashes, but far here means like in the wild. Mean the shoim, there are types of grasses, and the Tosefta takes the word for enam. They are kilayim in kerem, so also grasses are kilayim in the kerem. So v'hatayim Rabbi Yesha eloi mini dushoim hakinas achema v'ademu v'atad. Before we said an atad is a tree, now we're saying atad is a grass. Tam levracha, kan kilayim. So in terms of bracha, they are since you eat little fruit from the atad, not the which I guess is a secondary product, so it's not significant to make a bar prates. We make a bar mini deshoim, which we don't do nowadays. Make a bar priyadama. But in terms of kilayim, since the primary part of the atad is a tree, so therefore it is not kilayim. So obviously it's not that which the atad which. Yeah, it's atad. I guess it's the same atad which is meant to say for shoftim, mushel over there, but I'm not sure. It's not just a stam of thorn bush. The article is not taking lightning. It just says min kotim shegdelim gargarim harim lachilam. They have stones which have some berries which are suitable to eat. Okay, that will bring us to the top of the Gimel Amrav, and therefore we will stop for today.